Welcome to Motivation at Hand. To know is to know how. Open source, a world so bright. With freedom and creativity in sight. A community of coders, sharing their might. Making software that is open to the light. No limits or boundaries to what can be done. For anyone can join and become someone. With collaboration and passion, we can stun. Creating wonders that can never be outdone. From operating systems to web servers so vast. The potential of open source, we need to broadcast. For innovation and progress that will last. To create a future that is brighter than our past. For it is a movement that sets us apart, let us embrace open source with open hearts. With transparency and trust, we can impart, and make technology a force for good, a work of art. Open source refers to software, applications, or projects whose source code is freely available to the public for use, modification, and distribution. Open source projects are typically developed collaboratively, with contributions from a community of developers and users who work together to improve and maintain the software. One of the key principles of open source is that the source code of a project is made available under a license that grants users the right to view, modify, and distribute the code, often with few restrictions. This allows developers to create software that can be used, modified, and distributed freely by anyone, leading to a collaborative and decentralized development process. Open source projects have become increasingly popular in recent years, with many major software products and technologies being developed and maintained through open source collaborations. Examples include the Linux operating system, the Apache web server, and the Python programming language. There are many areas of open source, but here are 10 examples. 1. Operating systems. Open source operating systems like Linux provide an alternative to proprietary operating systems like Windows and Mac OS. 2. Web servers. The Apache web server is an open source project that powers a large portion of the world's websites. 3. Content management systems. Open source CMS platforms like WordPress and Drupal allow users to easily create and manage websites. 4. Office productivity software. LibreOffice is an open source alternative to Microsoft Office that includes word processing, spreadsheet, and presentation software. 5. Graphics and design. GIMP is an open source image editing program that provides an alternative to Adobe Photoshop. 6. Programming languages. Open source programming languages like Python and JavaScript are widely used for web development, data science, and more. 7. Database management systems. MySQL and PostgreSQL are popular open source database management systems that can be used to store and manage large amounts of data. 8. DevOps tools. Open source DevOps tools like Jenkins and Ansible are used to automate software development and deployment processes. Ansible is an open source automation tool, or platform, used for IT tasks such as configuration management, application deployment, inter-service orchestration, and provisioning. 9. Internet of Things, IoT. Open source IoT platforms like Eclipse IoT and Home Assistant provide tools and frameworks for building and managing IoT devices and applications. 10. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. Open source AI and machine learning frameworks like TensorFlow and Scikit-learn provide powerful tools for building intelligent applications and analyzing data. Scikit-learn is an open source data analysis library, and the gold standard for machine learning, ML, in the Python ecosystem. Key concepts and features include algorithmic decision-making methods, including classification, identifying and categorizing data based on patterns. Here are 10 examples of open source organizations or companies. 1. Apache Software Foundation, a nonprofit organization that supports open source software projects, including the Apache web server. 2. Mozilla Foundation, a nonprofit organization that develops open source software, including the Firefox web browser. 3. Red Hat, a software company that specializes in open source technology and provides enterprise support for Linux. 4. Canonical, a company that develops and supports the Ubuntu Linux distribution, which is based on open source software. 5. Docker, a company that develops open source containerization technology for application deployment and management. 6. GitHub, a web-based platform that provides tools for collaborative software development using open source principles. 7. GitLab, a company that provides a web-based platform for managing and collaborating on software projects, with a focus on open source. 8. OpenAI, a nonprofit research organization that develops and promotes open source AI technology. 9. Linux Foundation, a nonprofit organization that supports the development of open source software, including the Linux operating system. 10. Wikimedia Foundation, a nonprofit organization that operates the Wikipedia online encyclopedia and other open source projects that promote free knowledge. In conclusion, open source projects have become a powerful force in the software industry, providing users with the freedom to use, modify, and distribute software freely. As we've seen, open source projects span a wide range of domains, from operating systems and web servers to artificial intelligence and machine learning. With the collaborative and decentralized development process that open source promotes, developers and users around the world can work together to create powerful software that meets their needs. Whether you're a software developer, a student, or just someone who wants to use high-quality software without paying a premium, open source is a powerful tool to keep in mind. So why not try your hand at contributing to an open source project today and see what you can create? Much appreciation to you for giving of your time with us at Motivation at Hand. To know is to know how. We trust you will come back soon.